everybody. It's been a while, hasn't it, since we've done a tutorial. I thought it was about time. It's so, just to explain why I haven't done many tutorials lately, because I've been on Jewellery Maker sort of pretty much every week for the last 6 weeks probably, which I absolutely love. But there's a lot of preparation behind the scenes that I have to juggle on top of everything else. So that's why. But I'm going to try and make a conscious effort to do more, because that's what I love doing, and I love connecting with you all. First in the house today is Gemma. Hello, Gemma. Hello, Linda. Hi, Carol. Hi, Meg. So we're kind of, I don't know if we'd say back to basics, but this is something I really, really love. It's very boho. It's very unisex. You can use it with gems. You can use it with crystals. You could use it with thicker natural cord or leather cord. So the choice is yours. Hello, Jan. Lovely to have you join. So we make it like this. And this is black leather. And I know a lot of you have grabbed this beautiful Baroque pearl pendant as well. Love my necklace, thank you. This is jadeite, garnet and pearls. I do love it. It was one of my pieces that I did for the last Jewellery Maker birthday calendar, where there was this in it. Hello, Nicola. Hello, Rosie. So the idea is that it's a wraparound. Now, you can have a wraparound as many times as you like. You could even do it 3 times round or 4 times round, and you could double it up as maybe a necklace as well. Now, so that's what we're going to have a little look at today. If you want to buy materials, then they have been put in the group thread. Now, I've got some £1 deals for some stock that I want to clear. There are some gemstones. We've got sodalite. We've got clear quartz, which is like meant to be the master healer. We've got moonstone mixed with, can't think. But let me, for those of you that haven't gone to the Facebook group, I think most of you have here, but anybody new, that's the, if you just scan that code, it will take you to our Facebook group, which is where we've got all the materials. So Jan says, love jade and jadeite. Me too. Hello, Jay. Jan said her sodalite beads came today. I love them. Aren't they beautiful? Oh gosh, I look a bit of a sight this evening, but anyway, you take me as I am. I know you will. Right, let's go on the overhead, shall we? So this is our bracelet, and notice how this isn't obviously in the middle, because when you finished it, you're going to have to sort of measure it up and see whereabouts it sits on your wrist. So let's pop that in the corner. So if anybody comes in late, they'll be able to see what we're making. Hello, Carrie. She said I found you. Did you struggle to find us? Now, I've worked out, if you want to make a bracelet like this, you're probably going to need about 1 metre. I measured around 36 inches. Hello, Annette. Because the length of this in total for my wrist size, double size, was 15 inches. So that takes into account the clasp and the knots as well. So I've got some brown leather cord. Obviously, I am not going to be making a full length bracelet. So I haven't cut to size. The other thing you can do is you could pop on a button and have a button fastening like so, which I rather like. You do an overhand knot like this for the button fastening, and then you'd carry on as normal. The only difference is when you get to the end, you would do one knot, and then you do another knot. I'm going to start again in a second. It's just really so that you can get to know how you would do a button clasp fastening. So you would do 2 knots, and that would accommodate the button fastening. Isn't that nice? So that's the other way you could do it. So then you just cut it further down. But we're going to make a like for like, which means I'm going to do it with a lobster clasp. Let's take that off. Isn't it a lovely day today? It's absolutely beautiful. I normally add the clasp at the end. So what we're going to do is halve it. So you've got a loop one end, you've got ends the other, and then we're going to do an overhand knot. So you can see how I'm doing that? Just wrap it over, pop the end through and pull. So you don't need much of a loop at the end. Now I would recommend that when you've finished, you either paint a little bit of clear nail varnish in the inside or a bit of zap glue just to hold the knot in place, because leather is a little bit slippy. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to secure it with a T-pin. So these are T-pins that I use for macrame, but you can all use ordinary dressmaking pins if you want to, or if you haven't got them, maybe a safety pin. So I'm just going to use it the length of my bead board. If you haven't got a bead board, you can sellotape the ends if you want to onto your table. You could use a clipboard and sellotape the other end. I'm going to do another loop that I can secure with another pin the other end. Do you know, I've seen these when Mum and I went on our cruise to Norway. I've seen these on the cruises, and they're just made with crystal rondelles, and they are quite pricey to buy. Right, I'm going to zoom in a second, but what I wanted to do was to show you how I set up. So it's nice and taut at the top, and then I'm going to pop the other T-pin through my mat there. So I've got some tension on there and working space. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to zoom in so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Hello, Maxine. Meg says, not up here in Fife, even had torrential rain. Oh, that's a shame. Hopefully the sun will come your way sometime very, very soon. Right, I like to make my own big eye needles because I get through so many, but you can buy them or make them. So to make them, I'm using 0.2 wire, but 0.25, 0.3, as long as it goes through the holes of the bead. So I have cut, how long is it? 4.5 inches. If you could see that. So I'm going to bring both ends together like that, and then I'm going to twist. So you're basically creating your own needle. So you've got a loop one end to pop the thread through. Now, I think that you could possibly use cotton thread for this because of the amount of times we go through it. I haven't tried it myself, but if anybody else gets opportunity to try it, perhaps you'd let me know how you get on. So that's our big eye needle there. I'm going to use these electroplated beads. Now, these electroplated beads, these are £1 a strand. £1 a strand. They're absolutely beautiful. I'm not sure whether these are electroplated copper. So I don't need that many. Got a bit carried away there. Bear with. Let's just put some of these on a little tray. But feel free, ask any questions as we go in. So this is 2mm thick leather. I've just ordered some more black leather. If anybody wants to pre-order their black leather, because the leather that I had in stock has gone, just pop a note in the relevant post in the group. Now, I am going to use a different colour so that you can actually see me working. Now, I quite like the Mayuki thread or the Fireline or the, I can't think of the other one that I use. I'm having one of those days where I know the words, but I can't think of them. Can anybody else relate to that? It'll come to me later. Right, so to be honest with you, you're going to need a couple of, I would say about 3-4 meters of this if you want to do it in one foul swoop. What I also find really useful is, this is some beeswax I got from a local craft fair, and I find it really useful for just running it along my thread. Now, you will need to obviously make sure that the thread will go through double on your beads. So I've got tail ends here, halfway point here. I think we need to zoom in quite a bit more for you so you can see what I'm doing. So we've got the looped end this end, which I'm going to hook underneath here and then bring the tails through. So that's how we anchor to begin with. Just going to secure that a bit more. Okay. Do let me know if you can see it all right. So we are now going to thread on our big eye needle. Just cut them the same length, like so. Okay. And then what we're going to do is, I do hope it goes through twice. I'm going to thread on the first bead. Oh, the thread I'm using is, I'm using Mayuki, but you can use Wildfire. That's the name, I nearly forgot. Fireline, Nymo. I dare say you could probably even use cotton, but I haven't tried it. So your thread is on the top on the left. What we're going to do now is we're going to bring the thread underneath this one. So if you imagine working these in a figure of 8, so it's coming under and then bringing the thread over the top and going back through the bead, but you're going to push it underneath the other strand. So if you imagine drawing a figure of 8 around the 2 sides of leather, so it sits like this, and pull it nice and tight. Now for the first one, to secure it in place, you're going to go through it twice. Here's hoping that I can go through this twice. I should have tested these beads, shouldn't I really? So we're popping that through. We're going to bring it underneath. So it's just a double one on the first one. Move that up. Okay, so now we're going to bring this over and add the next one. So we've got the next bead on there. So again, we're coming over this strand we're going to go under the other one, so it's a figure of 8. And then we're going to go over the top and pop that underneath and pull. Now, I'm not necessarily saying to use this colour thread, but what I want you to do is to be able to see what I'm actually doing. Jan said, can't wait to try this. Love the look. So do I. And I love the fact that you can use 8mm, 6mm, 10mm. You use whatever you like. She's got some leather, coloured leather I want to use. Brilliant. Linda says she's listening to me in the car. Oh, brilliant. Are you on your way home from work, Linda? So going over there. Now, it does take a little bit of a while to actually get it the length you want, but this is the sort of thing you could really just sit in front of the telly, or if the weather's nice in the garden, it's not one of those projects where your beads are going to blow away. You can just, it's a nice sort of mindfulness. And you could even, you could do a chakra one. You could do different gemstones if maybe you do craft fairs or sell online. Okay, so we're going to bring that one underneath. So these are, I think they're 4mm. I think they're 3.5 by 4mm, but aren't they absolutely gorgeous? Like I said, these are £1 a strand in the group. I've had them for a little while. Now you see all the beads that I've got behind me. It's my goal to clear the board so you get the benefit. And I'm probably going to change it around a little bit in here, because I don't really need them all hanging up now, because I don't want to run workshops from home. Okay, so just give that a little tug and then bring that over. So we'll just have a little chat. We'll do a little bit more, and then I'll show you how to finish off. What you could always do as well at the end is you could always have a couple of separate fastenings so that it's multi-sized. Has anybody tried this before? Now, I have to confess, I actually did this a few years ago, quite a few years ago, but I've improved it. So what I've improved with this is the fact that the beads shouldn't go anywhere. And what I mean by that is, when I did it before, because I didn't reinforce it and go back through it and use this sort of thread, the beads would occasionally move and one would pop higher than the other. Whereas what I love about this is the fact that it looks really professional if you just take your time with it and go back through it twice. Whoops. This is where it gets stuck on absolutely everything. Now, the other thing is I've got lots of lovely little pendants as well in the group thread. So I've got coloured jade, I've got sodalite, rose quartz, labradorite, and I'll show you them in a little while. And I thought they would go ever so nice with some of the electroplated beads that I've got here. I mean, you don't have to add a pendant in, but I just think it's a really nice touch. And I'll show you some of the beads we've got as well. Has anybody had their bead boxes in the post? Don't give any spoilers. I've posted a few more, the last ones today. So if anybody that hasn't bought one or hasn't subscribed and you want just a one-off, or you want to subscribe, you can scan the QR code from the start, but I will share it with you rather, a little bit later on. So tell me, what are your thoughts? Are you going to give this a go? What are you going to use with yours? Are you going to try coloured cotton with it? Excellent. Meg got hers today. What about you, Linda? Did you get yours, Linda? Now, the idea with the bead boxes is obviously they're a mystery bead box. They will always contain some gemstones, some glass beads, and some findings. And the idea is that it will give us all inspiration. So hopefully, once everybody's got their bead box, we can start sharing the contents and the makes in the beaders group. So do make sure you share any makes. It doesn't have to be from the bead box, because we do a monthly giveaway when we do our next group live. Oh, Linda hasn't had hers yet. Maybe tomorrow then, Linda. Jay said she's going to give this a go. She loves this style. And Carrie says definitely going to give this a go. Now, if you want to add in any new thread, okay, just to talk you through it, just like we did at the start, just reinforce back round the last bead and just tie a knot sort of around one of the ladders. Add new thread in exactly the same way as you did at the start. So this is going to be a real baby bracelet, but we're going to carry on for a little bit longer because I quite like a little bit of length to actually show you how to attach the clasp and finish off. Do any of you ever do the big eye needle with your fine wire? Or do you have big eye needles that you keep? They're not cheap either, are they? Carrie says she thinks her granddaughter will like this style of bracelet. I think so. Well, obviously I don't know your granddaughter, but I think it's sort of an ageless one, isn't it? I think my son would quite like this as well. I think it's kind of, it doesn't matter what age you are. I think it looks fabulous on everybody. Nicola said, I got my buys today. They're really lovely. And the bag you put them in was really pretty. Thank you. You're very welcome. I'm trying to get different little things to go in there every month. I've got July's. It's just being put together now. Got some really beautiful things, as always. So Jan always makes her own needles from wire. Once you do it, it's easy, isn't it? Rosie says no, but I'm going to now because I'm always breaking them. And they're not cheap either, are they, Rosie? Because I know for wholesale, I've looked at them before, wholesale, and the big eye needles, they're like £1 each just for wholesale, which is ridiculous. Ah, your bead box is here, Linda. She's been out to see a friend, got home and it's there. Oh, good. I will get some feedback from you all at some point as well, because I do put gold and silver findings, or I have done in the last few boxes, because there's certain colours that I think you need gold for and certain colours you need silver for. So personally, I like a variety. So at some point I'd like sort of feedback, because obviously if you've got things in your box that you're not going to use, or maybe it might just be the fact that you wouldn't normally use it, but it's given you a bit of a prompt to do so. Carol said, I got big iron needles, but I find the ends of them are really sharp, so I don't like them. They hurt, don't they? But I like your idea to make your own. Brilliant. They're expensive, even on Temu, and I do a lot of beading. Yeah. I wonder why. Maybe it's like reinforced steel or something like that, and maybe it's a long process or something like that to get them that way. Jan says just silver for me. Okay, maybe, but if anybody else has got any feedback on that, just come out my needle. How are we doing for time? Right, so to finish off, obviously you will carry on for as long as you want to. You can do a single wrap bracelet, double, triple. You could have a triple one that doubles up as a choker necklace. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? Right, so if this was your last one, you would just do as you did at the start. So you'd go back over again just to secure it in place. Now, I think you would get, because I've done 15 inches, I think these are 16-inch strands, that you'd get one strand out of this. Right, so what I would do next is just go over that ladder at the side. So I split the threads and wrap one back round again. So just go through there, and I'm going to tie a knot like so. And then it's probably a good idea, if you can, to push it back the other side and then trim it off. So we're going to pretend that this is our proper length. Annette said she got hers today, but she hasn't opened it. Oh, you're being good. Silver colour, that is. Your silver has become expensive too. Oh, what, my silver or just generically? Because sterling silver is really pricey, but it has moved a bit. It has come down a little bit. Right, I can't see that. Anyway, I'm going to chop that off. You get the gist. I'd pop a bit of nail varnish on that. Right, so what we would do is we would undo this, take that off, okay, and then again do an overhand knot, like so. Isn't that lovely? I love those beads. So you would either paint that with nail varnish. Let's get a bit of nail varnish. I think I've got some here. Trim this off. I must say, Jewellery Maker's sterling silver findings are really reasonable still. So I would put a dab in there. Zap glue's better. Again, Jewellery Maker sell the zap glue. Don't sort of cake it, just a little dab just to secure it. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a few little bits and pieces. So these are the Baroque pearls that I've got, which have got an electroplated edging on them. Absolutely beautiful. So what I've done is I've positioned it on my wrist to see whereabouts I want that, and then I've just added a little jump ring in there. I better show you how we attach the clasp as well, haven't I? Where is the clasps? There we go. All I've simply done is where we've got the looped end, I would open up a clasp. So 2 sets of pliers. Oh, there we go. There's the split. I couldn't see it. 2 sets of pliers. Pop the jump ring through the loop and the lobster clasp, or whichever clasp you're going to go for. And then obviously yours will be much bigger than that. I would pop that through that gap there. But obviously, if you missed the start, I was just showing you how you could attach a button fastening if you want to. Let's just have a look at some of these gorgeous little gemstones. So I think that would be really pretty with it. So I'd literally just pop a jump ring in between one of the thread bars where it's meant to be and pop that on there. So that is your jade. Then we've got, these are all in the Facebook group. You've got your rose quartz, you've got your sodalite, and you've got your labradorite. So to be honest with you, any of those would actually go really, really beautifully with that. There's still, I think, a few of these left. So I'm just going to show you a couple of other ideas as well, because it's a lot better, isn't it, when you actually see things up close. There's the green one. So that one's dyed, but all of the others are totally undyed. Undyed sodalite, labradorite, rose quartz. Linda said, I'm opening it now. How did you make it even more gorgeous than last month? Thank you. I'm so pleased you like it. Do you know what? I just want people to really love it. And I look out for the bargains as well. So you get some really, really good stuff in there. Maxine says, very nice. Annette said, very pretty. So in the group thread, we have got some faceted hematite, because I thought that would be quite nice with your black. We've also got, if you're a silver person like Jan, we've got these as well. I thought these would be rather nice. So you've got the powder blue. I think that would be really nice with the black. We've got the silver and pink. We have got the sort of slate grey. So you've got those. So in terms of what I'd put those with, I think probably the black would go better, I think. But I've got these as well. They're lotus flowers, and their photo I did was absolutely terrible. I ought to do it again. But wouldn't the little lotus flower be beautiful with those? Or the other ones we've got are butterflies. Where are we? So you've got you've got a pack of butterflies. So make sure you pop over to the group, have a little look. There's a selection of different ones. Some of them as well, some of the butterflies, like that one, you can use as glue bales, which means that you can glue onto the back of a cabochon. Linda said it's stunning. I don't know how you're doing it for the price. Yeah, I spend hours, Linda. I spend hours and even days, because I have a basket, then I put it in my wish list, and then I have a ponder over it. But this the July one, we've got some different colours, some really beautiful, vibrant, tropical colour in there as well. We've got, how many gemstones have we got this time? We've got 4 gemstones in the box this month coming up as well. So let me just share a couple of things with you. Now, this is our group to share your makes. So if you scan that, that's our Beaders of Beads by Vachilla. Our lovely Linda is one of our admin team, and she will be joining me live with Francis. I can't remember the date. Linda will probably know the date. This is the one to join the Facebook group. So this is where all your materials are, your leather, your crystals, rondelles, gemstones, etc. If you want to subscribe to the monthly bead box, or you'd like to just buy a one-off, just message me. If you want to subscribe or know a bit more about it, then this is the details for that. So do let me know if you've got any questions. Hello, Heather. Is it the 29th? So on the 29th, we're going to do a big reveal for the bead boxes, and we'll be sharing our makes as well to give you some inspiration. We also do a prize draw. So every time you post, it doesn't have to be things that you've bought from me, preferably, but you don't have to. And we enter you all into a prize draw. So entry for every post you make, a goodie bag of beads. Oh, it is Monday the 29th at 7 o'clock. I think that's everything. I'm just going to play you a quick mini video as well, just to remind you about the bead box. So just stay with me for a second before we go. Bear with, it's literally 30 seconds. So there you go. If you've ordered your bead box, the bead boxes have all gone out now. So you will get yours very soon. So anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. Enjoy the rest of your night. And all being well, I shall see you again very soon for another tutorial. I am on Jewellery Maker on Tuesday, so you can watch my live demos in the 9 o'clock hour and the midday hour as well. What have I got? I've got garnets, pearls, marlers. I'm doing marler bracelets. Rosie, I do have leather. I have brown leather in the group. You can reserve the black leather because that's on order and it should be with me end of next week, beginning of the following week. So anyway, you guys take care, and don't forget, please share your mates as well in our beaders group. We'd love to see what you make. Take care, everyone. See you soon.